The anime starts with a group of Japanese spirits known as yokai, who live together in a community called the Nuwa clan. Rikuo, a candidate to become the third-generation leader of the clan, is at the center of the story. This future leader is referred to as Sandaime. One morning, as Rikuo is heading to school, he instructs the clan members not to follow him since his friends are searching for yokai. On his way, he encounters a man named Gyuki, who aspires to be the Sandaime to lead the clan. Rikuo then meets his grandfather, Nura, the first-generation clan leader. Gyuki criticizes Rikuo for acting like a human, arguing that the yokai clan deserves respect. At school, a student named Kyotsugu invites Rikuo and his friends to explore an old building rumored to be haunted by yokai. Kana, a female student, expresses disbelief in yokai, prompting Kyotsugu to prove their existence. That night, Rikuo asks Nura for permission to join his friends. Nura reminds Rikuo that he should lead the Nura clan, but Rikuo insists he wants to live as a human. Despite this, he goes with his friends to the old building. Kana feels scared, and Rikuo promises to protect her. Inside, Rikuo sees a yokai with the body of a girl and an old face, but his friends can't see her because they are human. The building is full of yokai, but Rikuo manages to hide them from his friends. In another room, a yokai charges at them, causing Kana to faint. Rikuo almost transforms into his yokai form, but Aotabo and Yuki, yokai from the Nura clan, arrive to protect him. Meanwhile, Nura meets with leaders from 26 factions under the Nura clan to discuss Rikuo's refusal to become the new leader. They debate, especially a yokai named Hidotsume, who points out that Rikuo has only transformed into a yokai once in the past 4 years. Back at school, Aotabo and Yuki continue to fend off the yokai bothering Rikuo. Unbeknownst to him, they have been disguised as first-year students to protect him for the last 4 years. Both Aotabo and Yuki want Rikuo to become the Sandaime of the Nura clan, but Rikuo insists on living as a human. Suddenly, Kana, who had fainted, wakes up, causing Aotabo and Yuki to disappear. The next day, a male yokai named Zen visits the Nura clan to meet the Sandaime. At Rikuo's house, Zen, who has been Rikuo's friend since childhood and is considered like a brother, angrily confronts Rikuo for refusing to become Sandaime. Zen attempts to attack Rikuo but fails due to his illness and lack of energy, then leaves the Nura clan. Rikuo is furious with Nura for making the sick Zen come to persuade him. At home, Zen takes medicine from his assistant, Heibatayu, who advises Zen to distance himself from the Nura clan. Zen insists his clan has always been under the Nura clan's protection, which he needs due to his weak condition. Suddenly, Heibatayu attacks Zen, revealing he is part of a rebel faction against Rikuo, becoming Sandaime. Heibatayu tries to kill Zen for supporting Rikuo, but a crow yokai named Karasutengu and Rikuo arrive in time to save him. Heibatayu attempts to kill Rikuo, but Rikuo transforms into his yokai form and splits Heibatayu in two. Zen learns that Rikuo has only a quarter of yokai blood and can only transform at night. Despite this, Zen vows to support and be loyal to Rikuo as Sandaime. After Zen leaves, Rikuo confides in Karasutengu that he wants to become Sandaime, though Karasutengu knows Rikuo will forget this when he turns human again. The next day at school, Rikuo forgets the previous night's events. In class, a new student named Yura, who knows a lot about yokai, joins a conversation about yokai with Kyotsugu and his friends. She mentions that the most dangerous yokai are animal incarnations, impressing Kyotsugu. He decides to form a supernatural detective group named Kyojuji to find yokai, planning the group's opening at Rikuo's house, rumored to be haunted and known as Yokai Yoshiki. After school, Aotabo and Yuki told Rikuo they would help organize the yokai at his home. To his surprise, when he arrived, the yokai were having a party celebrating his resurrection, and he managed to transform into a yokai. It turned out that Karasu had informed them about the previous night's events. Rikuo, who had no memory of it, asked the yokai to tidy up the room because his friends would soon arrive. Shortly after, his friends arrived and were greeted by his mother, who remarked that it was rare for humans to visit their house. Yura told Rikuo she wanted to explore because she could sense the presence of yokai in the house. She checked several rooms, but fortunately, the yokai were able to remain hidden. Nura then appeared in front of them, causing Yura to glare at him. After Nura left, she suspected he was a yokai but couldn't confirm it because high-level yokai can hide their aura. Suddenly, a rat scared his friends, and Yura chased it, suspecting it was a yokai. The rat suddenly grew large, and Yura attacked it with a shikigami technique, which can annihilate yokai. Shikigami are spirits of humans or animals who died with feelings of revenge and hatred. Yura is a descendant of a famous family of yokai exterminators called Onmyoji. She came to the city because rumors suggested there were many supernatural activities, including the presence of the yokai leader. After Rikuo's friends went home, Yuki and Aotabo informed him that the rat was not a yokai from their clan. Meanwhile, Yura and Kana, walking home, were confronted by a group of men who turned out to be rat yokai. They discovered that Yura and Kana were Rikuo's friends, which is why they followed them. Yura immediately attacked and transformed her shikigami into Tanro, capable of killing several yokai. However, the leader of the rat yokai, Kuso, took Kana hostage, forcing Yura to stop fighting. Kuso then slapped her, causing her to fall. Meanwhile, the Kuso clan was chasing some cat yokai from the Bakaneko clan, killing 2 members. Fortunately, the cat clan leader, Ryota, managed to escape. Rikuo, who was in his yard, was visited by a rat yokai claiming to be a servant who had fled from the Kuso clan to inform him they had kidnapped Yura and Kana. The rat advised Rikuo not to bring bodyguards, as Yura and Onmyoji would find it dangerous. The rat led Rikuo to a house, where he was ambushed by several rats and brought before Kuso. Soon after, Kuso showed Rikuo his 2 imprisoned friends and demanded that if Rikuo wanted them freed, he must step down from his position as Sandayume and announce it to the entire country that night. On his way home, Rikuo accidentally encountered Ryota. Ryota explained that their clan had been ordered by Nura to eradicate the Kuso clan, but was instead defeated by them. Rikuo brought Ryota to his house, and upon arriving, instructed Karasu to announce his written resignation to the clans across the country. Nura suggested that the Kuso clan might hold a grudge because they were removed from the Nura clan faction. He left the matter to Rikuo, his successor, but Rikuo insisted on resigning for the sake of his friends. Ryota warned Rikuo that the Kuso clan never keeps their promises. Afterward, Ryota went to Nura to apologize for his failure and promised to make amends soon. Injured and unable to walk, he fell while leaving Rikuo's house. Impressed by Ryota's persistence, Rikuo transformed into a yokai and rallied the Nura clan to attack the Kuso clan's base. Upon arrival, Aotabo immediately freed Yura and Kana. A war erupted between the Nura and Kuso clans. After defeating the Kuso clan, Ryota sought Rikuo's permission to fight Kuso, but was ultimately overthrown due to his severe injuries. Witnessing this, Rikuo incinerated Kuso without touching him. The next day at school, Yura apologized to Kana for involving her with the yokai, but Kana reassured her that it wasn't a problem because she wasn't afraid when the yokai helped them. Kyotsugu called a meeting for friends interested in their association, but Rikuo was absent due to illness. Zen visited the Nura clan to check on Rikuo and asked if he remembered anything when he turned into a yokai, but Rikuo didn't answer. On the house's terrace, Nura spoke with 2 yokai, suspecting that someone within the Kuso clan didn't want Rikuo to become Sandaime. At the same time, Rikuo's friends visited him. Kyotsugu informed them that they would meet a male yokai expert named Professor Ada Shibara that weekend. Shibara had prepared a room for them to stay in and wanted to train them about yokai. Hitotsume overheard Rikuo and his friends talking. Meanwhile, Nura instructed Karasu to investigate who the traitor in the Nura clan was, related to the Kuso clan. That weekend, Rikuo and his friends went to a village called Umiraku to meet Ada Shibara at the Umewakamaru temple. As they ascended the mountain to find the small temple, Rikuo, Yuki, and Yura felt something odd. Suddenly, a strange man appeared in front of them. It turned out to be Ada Shibara. Rikuo asked him who he worshipped in the small temple. Ada Shibara explained that the temple was built to honor the good yokai Umewakamaru. They continued their journey, and upon reaching the top, Shibara mentioned that Umewakamaru lived on the mountain. Meanwhile, back at Rikuo's house, Karasu was shocked to learn that Sandaime had gone to Umiraku-en. Shibara then revealed that the mountain was also home to Jiyuki, which worried Yuki, fearing an attack. Rikuo was also concerned because he couldn't transform into a yokai during the day, and Yuki couldn't show her powers in front of Rikuo's friends. Realizing the danger, Rikuo decided to take everyone home. However, Keiotsugu, unaware of the risks, refused to leave. Ada Shibara assured them that the inn was protected by anti-yokai powers and dismissed Gyuki's existence as a legend. Unbeknownst to them, Shibara was being controlled by a yokai using threads. When the threads were removed, he regained consciousness and was confused about why he was on the mountain. Rikuo and his friends arrived at the inn, which seemed strange, but he kept his concerns to himself. Keiotsugu and his friend Shima decided to look for yokai, ignoring Rikuo's warnings. Rikuo and Yuki followed them to keep them safe. Meanwhile, the women were soaking in the inn's hot springs. Kana grew suspicious when she noticed Yuki wasn't at the bathhouse, thinking she might be alone with Rikuo. Jealous, Kana left the hot springs to look for them. Soon after, yokai appeared, targeting the women in the bathhouse. It turned out that the leader of the yokai had been manipulating Ada Shibara with threads. Fortunately, Yura arrived just in time and defeated the yokai. Meanwhile, Rikuo and his friends were being watched by Gyuki's subordinates as they explored. When they reached a cave rumored to be a yokai den, a yokai cast a spell causing Keiotsugu and Shima to separate from Rikuo and Yuki. Realizing something was wrong, Rikuo immediately chased after them. Yuki, now alone, was attacked by a male yokai but managed to evade him. She told the yokai that the Nura clan would forgive him if he stopped attacking them, but instead, he stabbed her in the leg. As the yokai was about to slash her, she encased his sword in ice, preventing a direct hit. Fortunately, just as the yokai was about to kill her, Rikuo arrived in time to save her. Meanwhile, in the hot spring, Yura fought off the yokai while protecting her two friends. She was forcefully thrown from a tree, but was saved by the power of Karasu's children, the main supervisors of the Nura clan, who then took the yokai away. Aotabu also arrived to protect them and successfully brought Shima and Keiotsugu back to the inn. In the forest, Rikuo fought Gyuki's men without transforming into a yokai, managing to defeat his opponent. Gyuki's men used a spell to remove a sharp object from Rikuo's body that nearly killed Sandaime. Rikuo then transformed into a yokai, making it easier to defeat his enemies. Meanwhile, Zen met with Nura, suspecting Gyuki's betrayal. Nura already knew and had sent Rikuo to test Gyuki's loyalty, one of the clan's top executives. Kana continued searching for Yuki and saw the yokai form of Sandaime carrying her. He left Yuki with Kana and went to confront Gyuki. When Rikuo found Gyuki, Gyuki immediately pointed his sword at Rikuo's neck. Rikuo countered, declaring his intention to lead the Nura clan and questioning Gyuki's motives. Gyuki replied that if he succeeded in killing Rikuo, he would kill himself. Gyuki then recounted a story. There was once a great general and his wife, who despite having everything, had no children. One night, a luminous object entered their house and then the wife's body. Miraculously, she became pregnant after that night. They had a baby boy named Umewakamaru. When he was 7, his father died in battle, and his mother sent him to a temple to train. By the age of 12, he had become a respected head monk. One day, Umewakamaru heard that his mother was sick and immediately returned home. During the long journey, he rested and fell asleep, only to be awakened by 2 women who claimed to have worked for his family. They told him that his mother had moved to Mount Nejirime. Umewakamaru unsuspectingly followed the 2 women, only to be trapped and used as bait for Juki, the yokai ruler of the mountain. Being just an ordinary human, Umewakamaru couldn't stand against Juki, who transformed into a giant. Cornered at the cliff's edge, Juki revealed that his mother had been killed. Overwhelmed with loss, Umewakamaru leapt into Juki's mouth. Soon after, Juki felt something strange within his body and fell from the cliff. Emerging from Juki's body, Umewakamaru declared to the women that he would become a yokai, cursing the gods and the world that took his parents. He then killed the women who had betrayed him and, driven by vengeance, began killing both humans and yokai. Known as the cruel lord of Mount Nejirime, he took the name Juki. His tyranny led the young Nura and his clan to Mount Nejirime, resulting in a fierce 3-day battle. Nura ultimately defeated Juki but spared his life, impressed by his strength, and invited him to join the Nura clan. In the present, Juki explains to Rikuo his betrayal, urging him to abandon his human nature and fully embrace his yokai identity. Suddenly, Rikuo, determined to become a complete Sandayume, stabs Juki. Despite this, Juki professes his love for the Nura clan and his fear of its downfall under Rikuo's leadership. As Karasu's children express their anger at Juki's attack, he calls Rikuo a fool for not accepting his yokai nature but acknowledges Rikuo's strength. Preparing to kill himself, Juki is stopped by Rikuo, who urges him to live on and avoid future regret. Rikuo tells Juki to ask about humans when he is in human form. The next day, Juki wakes up in the Nura clan, and human form Rikuo assures him that he is family. Later, at a supernatural gathering, Kyotsugu invites his friends to search for yokai again. Meanwhile, the Nura clan's higher-ups convene to decide Juki's fate. Nura announces Rikuo as a Sendayume candidate and hands over the case to him. Rikuo, in front of the elders, acknowledges Juki's disloyalty and his pressure on Kuso to withdraw Rikuo from becoming Sendayume, but declares Juki innocent, recognizing his actions were for the good of the Nura clan. One of the higher-ups objected to Rikuo's decision, but Rikuo responded that they still needed Juki as the clan's guardian of the western region, as only he could fulfill that role. Nura then concluded the meeting by stating that Rikuo was the only Sendayume candidate for now. If no other candidate is chosen by the age of 13, Rikuo would officially lead the Nura clan. The next day, Nura spoke with one of the top male members, Hihi, who reported a group of yokai causing trouble in the Bakaneko area. Nura initially hesitated, but eventually allowed Hihi to investigate. That evening, Hihi and his team were found dead in a bamboo forest. Ryota recounted the chaos that began when a male member was hit by a gust of wind that tore his clothes, leading to his death shortly after. Saddened, Rikuo lamented the death of a higher-up just as he had officially become a candidate. Later, Karasu's children informed Rikuo that Karasu wanted to meet him. Karasu intended to increase Rikuo's bodyguards due to yokai targeting their clan. The next day, Rikuo was escorted by 4 additional yokai. Other higher-ups also received bodyguards. However, Nura declined an escort and decided to take a walk with a yokai named Nado. While walking, Nura encountered Yura and invited her to talk in the garden over some bread. Yura revealed her mission to defeat the yokai leader Nura, unaware that she was speaking to him. She confessed her confusion about yokai, having always considered them enemies despite often being saved by them. Nura told her that yokai were evil and that she must fight them. Suddenly, a strong wind blew from a tall building in front of them, and an attack ensued. Yura quickly protected Nura. The 5 Kamitachi wind controllers appeared, and Yura defended Nura, summoning a deer named Rakusen to take him away. Surrounded by the Kamitachi, Nura intended to help, but Yura managed to defeat them all. At school, Rikuo saw Karasu searching for Nura. Miyuki's men, Gozu and Mezu, mentioned that Karasu was looking for Nura, who had fled to avoid being escorted. Meanwhile, in the park, Yura proudly reflected on her victory over 4 Kamitachi members. Suddenly, the Kamitachi leader attacked, causing Yura's Shikigami to fall one by one. Upon learning that Nura was absent, he left, as his goal was to confront Nura. The Kamitachi leader then encountered Nura on the building's roof, but he was no match for Nura, who was enraged by Hihi's death. Nura immobilized and blinded the leader before killing him. The scene then shifts to Rikuo and his friends, who are visited by 2 unusual students, Tamazuki and Inogami. Tamazuki revealed that he possessed the same abilities as Rikuo and declared his intention to seize the Nura clan's territory, challenging Rikuo with his words. After delivering this message, Tamazuki and Inogami left, followed by 5 others known as the 7 Pilgrims. In the afternoon, Karasu continued searching for Nura, who had not yet returned home. The members believed Nura's disappearance was an opportunity to destroy the Nura clan, despite their strong yokai. The 7 Pilgrims claimed they could easily eliminate the Nura clan's yokai. Shortly afterward, the 7 Pilgrims caused a riot in the city to draw the Nura clan's yokai's attention. Their plan succeeded, and the yokai quickly learned of the riot, frightening the weaker yokai. However, Yuki tried to reassure them, stating that even without Nura, they still had Sendayume or Rikuo. The next day, Rikuo went to school with only Yuki and Aotobo, as the other yokai were assigned to guard the city. In the afternoon, a chicken yokai from the 7 Pilgrims set fire to trees in the park. Coincidentally, Kana and Yura were passing by and managed to extinguish the fire with Yura's Shikigami. However, Yura was attacked by the chicken yokai. Fortunately, Karasu's children were on guard and chased after the yokai. When Yura got home, she called Rikuo to inform him about the park incident and urged him to be cautious. Rikuo, worried, told Gyuki that he would not let his friends get hurt. Tamazuki then informed his members that their show was about to begin, with the Nura clan in the spotlight. Meanwhile, Inogami was spying on the Nura clan from a tree. At that time, Shoi, a yokai in the Nura clan, met with the clan's higher-ups, vowing to avenge his father Hi's death. Shortly after, Rikuo joined the meeting to strategize. He urged everyone to stay united and not act individually, especially Shoi, who sought revenge. Since Nura was absent, Rikuo took temporary command. Shoi agreed to follow Rikuo's orders, as did the other higher-ups, except for Hitotsume. Meanwhile, in front of Rikuo's house, Inogami began his attack by killing one of the weaker yokai. This incident sent Hitotsume into a hysterical frenzy. Inogami then barged into the Nura clan's house, ransacking its contents. Rikuo, Yuki, and Aotabo chased him to the front gate, where they found Tamazuki and his members waiting for the Nura clan. Tamazuki introduced himself as the leader of the 88 yokai Shikoku gods and offered the Nura clan the chance to become his followers. Fueled by vengeance, Shoi appeared, accompanied by Gozumezu and Yuki, ready to fight. The chicken yokai attacked, setting the Nura clan's house ablaze. Before they left, revealing their visit was merely an introduction. The Nura clan then scrambled to extinguish the fire. The next day at school, Rikuo invited his friends to his house under the pretense of a training camp, aiming to keep them safe from Tamazuki and his followers. Everyone agreed except Yura, who had her own investigation to pursue. Meanwhile, in the mountains of Shikoku, Nura, Reihan, and Nara noted how different the place felt since their last visit. Gozumezu was searching for the 7 Pilgrims members, having tracked one of their yokai the previous night. Rikuo's friends arrived at his house and were welcomed by his mother. Yura, meanwhile, was at a small temple where someone had tampered with the statues of gods. Gozumezu managed to corner one of the 7 Pilgrims yokai in a warehouse, but was puzzled by the presence of such a weak yokai among their ranks. In the Nura clan's meeting room, Hitotsume caused a commotion because Rikuo had asked everyone to stay put for their safety. Daruma, one of the higher-ups, reminded everyone that in Nura's absence, they had to follow Sandaime's orders. Back at the warehouse, as it started to rain, the yokai, Gonji Kuzo, unleashed his water powers. Gozumezu retreated to the Nura clan to find Kappa, another water-powered yokai, but he was too late. Kappa was already aware of Gonji Kuzo's intentions to destroy the water purification plant and wreak havoc in the city. Rikuo and Kappa confronted Gonji Kuzo, leading to a clash of water powers. Yura, not far from the scene, approached as the battle unfolded. Kappa turned out to be stronger than Gonji Kuzo. However, the chicken yokai arrived and took Gonji Kuzo away. As Tamazuki and his followers became increasingly active, the Nura clan intensified their security in the city. Aotabo visited Ryota's bookstore and noticed a female yokai working there, unaware that she was a member of the 7 Pilgrims. Shortly afterward, a commotion erupted outside as news spread that a higher-up of the Nura clan had been attacked in the forest. The next day, Rikuo received news from Karasu's daughter that the leader, Obake, and 3 of his members had been attacked by the enemy. During a meeting of the Nura clan higher-ups, Hitotsume caused another disturbance but was silenced by Juki's intimidating gaze. Karasu's children reported that Obake was attacked while leaving the Nura clan, suggesting there was a traitor among them feeding information to the enemy. Yura, meanwhile, was investigating the city when she encountered the female yokai and attacked her. The yokai fled to avoid attracting the Nura clan's attention. Yura continued her search using her yokai detecting abilities and ended up at Rikuo's house. His friends, practicing in the yard, greeted her, and she explained to Rikuo that she had been chasing a female yokai who had appeared from an alley at the back of the city. Rikuo instructed Karasu to investigate. After Yura left, Karasu discovered that the female yokai was working at Ryota's bookstore and frequently met with the higher-ups of the Nura clan. Rikuo transformed into his yokai form and began to move. It turned out that Hitotsume, often drunk at Ryota's shop, had been unknowingly leaking information to the female yokai, unaware she was a member of the 7 Pilgrims. The female yokai sensed a terrifying aura and fled the tavern, only to find it came from Rikuo, who was looking for her. Rikuo then brought Hidotsume back to the Nura clan. Upon their arrival, the other higher-ups blamed Hidotsume for leaking information while drunk, but Hidotsume instead blamed Rikuo for failing to unite them all. Meanwhile, Yura, walking alone in the middle of the city, noticed she was being followed by a female yokai. Realizing the danger, she ran to a quiet place, but her bodyguard, assigned by Rikuo, lost track of her. When Yura tried to confront the yokai, she was suddenly restrained by the yokai's hair. Fortunately, her bodyguard found her just in time, moments before she would have been killed. The two yokai, both wielding power through their hair, were ready to fight but became uneasy due to an unsettling presence in the air. It turned out that Rikuo and Karasu's children had arrived. Rikuo, revealing only his shadow, cut the female yokai's hair, declaring he would not kill them, but left a message for them to warn Tamazuki not to use women for his schemes. After the ordeal, Rikuo stayed with Yura until she regained her senses. Confused, she pondered why she was always saved by the yokai. The next day, Rikuo contemplated Tamazuki's true intentions. If they sought the Nura clan's power, they would attack openly, but their current tactics were stealthy, suggesting another motive. Kiyosugu soon called his friends to review a city map, marking the temple areas destroyed by the Shikoku yokai. He proposed they investigate as a yokai search team, prompting Rikuo and his bodyguards to join for protection. They arrived at a recently destroyed temple, unaware that Yura was also there investigating. When Yura saw Rikuo and Yuki, she mistakenly thought they were dating. Knowing Kana liked Rikuo, Yura confronted him, advising him not to toy with women's hearts. After Yura left, she found a torn kimono and gave it to Kiyosugu. Back at the Nura clan, Rikuo continued to ponder the Shikoku yokai's true goal. He soon confided in his female bodyguard, Keijuro, revealing he had figured it out. He ordered his clan members to spread out and protect the remaining temples, as he realized the yokai aimed to destroy all Tachigami, the temple guardian gods, to destabilize the Nura clan's foundation. Aotabo and Karasu's children, while guarding together, were surprised by the arrival of Kiyosugu and Shima at the temple. Kiyosugu, able to read the pattern of destruction leading to the next target, reported this to Rikuo, who then rushed to the site. At the temple, Kiyosugu and Shima were unaware that a cursed yokai named Soromogi had appeared behind them, mistaking Kiyosugu for the Tachigami of the temple. Soromogi grabbed Kiyosugu's clothes, revealing his curse. Anyone who turns their head after being pulled will be cursed. Just as Kiyosugu was about to turn his head, Shima used his ball to attack the cursed yokai. Soromogi then inadvertently appeared in front of Rikuo and Yuki. As they pursued him, they were confronted by two other Shikoku yokai. Aotabo and Karasu's children intervened to protect Rikuo. Aotabo clashed with an ogre yokai, while Karasu's children faced off against the fire chicken yokai. The fire chicken yokai displayed great firepower, but Karasu's children created a whirlwind that redirected the flames back at the fire chicken, destroying it instantly. Seeing this, the ogre fled. The next day, the yokai search team discovered a hidden temple that even Yuki didn't know existed. Back at the Nura clan, Rikuo explained to Yuki that the clan had long borrowed the Tachigami powers, and thus needed to protect all temples. They asked Karasu about the owner of the newly found temple. Karasu identified it as belonging to Senba, a Tachigami who could cure diseases. Unexpectedly, one of Rikuo's friends, Tori, returned to the temple alone with many Shikigami, as she often prayed there. While praying, Soromogi grabbed Tori's clothes, causing her to turn around and become paralyzed. Fortunately, Kurotabo from the Nura clan arrived to help, but he was too late to prevent the curse. They rushed Tori to the hospital. Rikuo decided to return to Senba Temple with Kurotabo to find Soromogi and learn how to lift Tori's curse. Unexpectedly, Senba appeared at the temple. Kurotabo asked for his help to heal Tori. Senba replied that his current strength was insufficient to dispel such a powerful curse, and said they must defeat Soromogi. Rikuo transformed into a yokai and summoned Karasu's children to locate Soromogi. Mobilizing many crows and with Ryota's help, they soon found him. Soromogi was planning to destroy another temple and kill its Tachigami when Kurotabo suddenly attacked him. The scene then shifts to young Tori visiting Senba Temple to thank him for healing her. From then on, she diligently visited the temple to clean it. Senba's strength relies on the prayers of people at his temple. Having been forgotten over time, his power diminished, leaving him vulnerable to destruction. The supernatural detective group visited Senba's temple, carrying origami and praying for Tori's recovery. Meanwhile, Tori's condition worsened at the hospital. However, thanks to the prayers of her friends, Senba regained his strength and was able to heal her. Elsewhere, Nura traveled to Shikoku to meet Taneki, the mountain leader and father of Tamazuki, who was targeting the Nura clan. Taneki suggested that Tamazuki might be following in his own youthful footsteps as a leader of the yokai. He also warned Nura to be wary of Inogami, a dangerous member of the Seven Pilgrims. The next day, Inogami, defying Tamazuki's orders, decided to go after Rikuo on his own. Meanwhile, at the Nura clan, Kyotsugu received a message on his yokai website, suggesting that turning on the projector in their school's auditorium would summon yokai. Excited, Kyotsugu planned to investigate with his friends, but Rikuo, fearing an attack from Tamazuki's group, tried to stop them. Kinjiro then informed Rikuo about a call from Inogami, who revealed that he had posted the comment on Kyotsugu's website to lure them. Rikuo rushed to find his friends, who had already gone to the old building unaware of Inogami's trap. Kyotsugu and Shima arrived at the auditorium and started searching for the projector. Rikuo followed them and met his female friends, while Inogami stalked them, angered by Rikuo's friendship with humans. However, Rikuo was not alone. He was accompanied by Aotabo and Kinjuro, who were fighting off wild yokai. Recognizing the danger, Rikuo urged his friends to leave. Meanwhile, Kyotsugu and Shima found the projector and turned it on, revealing Inogami's image on the screen. Inogami then questioned Rikuo about his friendships with humans, who he believed despised and hated the yokai. Inogami harbors a deep grudge against humans who constantly label him a monster. When he attempts to attack Rikuo, Rikuo's bodyguards intervene and restrain Inogami. This intensifies Inogami's hatred for Rikuo, accusing him of being a spoiled child always protected by other yokai. Fueled by anger, Inogami breaks free and transforms into a yokai, ready to attack Rikuo again. However, a male yokai named Kubinashi, who has the power of thread, binds Inogami. Bound and filled with rage, Inogami claims that Tamazaki, unlike Rikuo, will rule because he can control humans rather than befriending them. Tamazaki believes yokai are superior to humans and should not be friends with them. Inogami asserts that only Tamazaki accepts him. Overwhelmed by anger, Inogami transforms into a giant monster and breaks free from Kubinashi's bonds, easily overpowering Rikuo's bodyguards until he faces Rikuo alone. Fortunately, it's night, and Rikuo transforms into a yokai, quickly slashing Inogami. Realizing Rikuo's power surpasses his own, Inogami flees, with Rikuo chasing him to the school's main building. Rikuo defeats Inogami with a single slash, and Tamazaki appears to retrieve Inogami, promising a final battle soon, and vowing not to harm Rikuo's friends and the residents. The next day at school, Rikuo dismisses his friends. Kyotsugu, disappointed he didn't see any yokai, requests another training camp at Rikuo's house, a suggestion only Shima supports. Meanwhile, on Mount Shikoku, the king of Taneki informs Nura that Tamazaki discovered a legendary treasure that transformed him. Tamazaki then summoned 88 Shikoku yokai to fight the Nura clan. The treasure is revealed to be a sword called Hasanokashi, the Demon King's hammer. Shoei, seeking revenge for his father, enters an old building but is attacked by a giant ogre. Karasu's 3 children save him and take him away. Upon hearing the news, Rikuo blames himself for not acting against the Shikoku yokai. Zen suggests they start fighting by mobilizing the Nura clan's troops, Hyaki Yako. Senior officials, including Karasu, declare their loyalty to Nura. Rikuo is tasked with forming his own troops, or Hyaki Yako, but doubts anyone would follow him since he can only transform into a yokai at night. Zen, angered by Rikuo's hesitation, assures him that he will soon have loyal followers like himself. Shortly after, Zen informed Yuki and the others that Rikuo would lead Hyaki Yako. Upon hearing this, they toasted and pledged their loyalty to Rikuo. When Rikuo was alone in his yard, he saw the severely injured Shoei waking up and seeking revenge. Rikuo told Shoei that if he wanted to attack the yokai Shikoku, Rikuo would join him because Shoei was family. The next day, Nura, Nado, and the king of Tanuki rode a train. During the journey, the king of Tanuki recounted how 300 years ago, Tanuki fought humans over territory. The yokai initially won due to their strength, but were eventually massacred by a human wielding the Demon King's hammer sword, now in Tamazaki's possession. Meanwhile, the Nura clan's higher-ups gathered for a meeting, worried about an impending war against the yokai Shikoku and the absence of Nura. Zen advised against relying solely on Sandaime, and Hitotsume suggested testing Rikuo's sincerity. Zen agreed and summoned Rikuo. Rikuo, waiting at the Nura clan's main gate for the yokai Shikoku's arrival, was accompanied by his men, demonstrating his sincerity. However, Hitotsume doubted Rikuo, calling him a comedian unfit to save them. Meanwhile, Tamazaki and the yokai Shikoku moved to attack the Nura clan, and Rikuo, with his Hyaki Yako, prepared to face them. Hitotsume tried to block them, claiming Rikuo couldn't act without higher-ups' approval. Gifki argued that they couldn't stop Rikuo, who was leading his Hyaki Yako. Hitotsume insisted that Rikuo couldn't win with just his Hyaki Yako. Then Karasu's children reported that the yokai Shikoku had gathered many troops. The Nura clan set out for the battleground. Gozumezu, supporting the Nura clan troops, promised to join the battle after completing his task. Disguised, Gozumezu infiltrated enemy territory to gather information and discovered Tamazaki had the Demon King hammer sword. But as they tried to report to Rikuo, Tamazaki detected their disguise and attacked Gozumezu. Finally, the two clans met in the city center. Tamazaki transformed into a yokai, and Rikuo unexpectedly advanced alone toward the yokai Shikoku, who surrounded him, including the vengeful Inogami. Rikuo's Hyaki Yako troops launched their attack, igniting the battle. Each warrior faced their respective enemies, while Rikuo confronted Tamazaki directly. Inogami tried to interfere, but Kubinashi restrained him with his threads. Meanwhile, Keisugu received multiple reports on his website about yokai sightings in the city, prompting him to gather his friends to investigate. On the battlefield, Rikuo managed to corner Tamazaki, but 3 Shikoku yokai came and surrounded him, weakening him. A member of the 7 pilgrims, Yosuzume, blinded Rikuo with a technique. In response, Rikuo surrounded himself with blue flames to repel any yokai, but Tamazaki pierced through and stabbed him in the back. Just as Tamazaki was about to kill Rikuo, Yuki intervened. Yosuzume then used her blinding technique on Yuki and all nearby yokai. However, Kurotabu and Shoei, fighting far away, were unaffected. They discovered the unconscious Gozumezu, who had been attacked by Tamazaki earlier. Yosuzume thought she had blinded Yuki, but Yuki had cleverly covered one eye with ice, allowing her to see. Yuki defeated Yosuzume, restoring vision to all the yokai. Zen tended to the wounded on the battlefield when Shoei brought him Gozumezu for treatment. Meanwhile, Ogre declared himself the strongest yokai in Japan, but was defeated by Ahotabu, who unleashed his immense strength by removing his ceiling skull necklace. Kappa also triumphed over his enemy using powerful water attacks. Despite the chaos, Rikuo and Tamazaki continued their fight. Tamazaki demonstrated his sword's power, which grew stronger with each yokai he killed. He brutally killed his troops and a female yokai to enhance his sword's power. Yura, sensing the yokai presence, arrived at the battlefield and confronted Tamazaki, attacking him with her Shikigami. However, her strength was no match for the Demon King's hammer sword. Seeing Yura in danger, Rikuo attacked Tamazaki, managing to destroy his mask. Meanwhile, Inogami took Kana hostage and urged Tamazaki to kill her, but Tamazaki killed Inogami instead, perfecting the power of his sword. The final battle begins as Rikuo leads Tamazaki to a different location to fight. The Hyaki Yako troops follow, leaving Kyotsugu, who arrives late, unable to see any yokai. At the new battlefield, Rikuo and Tamazaki clash evenly. However, with sunrise approaching, the Hyaki Yako troops worry about Rikuo losing his power. In Rikuo's subconscious, he encounters 2 figures who tell him, "Day or night, you and I are one." They reveal that he can maintain his yokai form even after sunrise. With this new understanding, Rikuo mimics Nura's shadowy movements, confusing Tamazaki. Rikuo then appears behind Tamazaki, slashing him and freeing the yokai he had absorbed. He cuts Tamazaki's mask again and prepares to finish him off when Nura suddenly intervenes. It turns out Tamazaki wanted to surpass his father by killing him, but Rikuo stops him and advises him to take care of the yokai who genuinely love him. The king Tanuki apologizes for Tamazaki's actions, acknowledging him as his favorite son. Tamazaki then seems to come to his senses and reforms. A white puppy approaches him, which he believes is the reincarnation of Inogami. In the Nura clan's meeting room, Rikuo and Nura thank all the yokai who helped defeat the yokai Shikoku, and they celebrate with a party. Season 2 begins with a flashback to when Nura Rikuo was 5 years old. He was with his father, Nura Rihan, and a mysterious girl who seemed close to his father. Suddenly, the girl stabbed his father in the back, killing him as Rikuo watched in shock. 3 years after Nura Rihan's death, Rikuo's grandfather, Nura Rihan, decided to make Rikuo the candidate for the third commander of the Nura clan. Rikuo initially rejects the decision, influenced by his schoolmates' belief that yokai are evil and their stories about Gagose, a yokai who kidnaps and devours human children. Gagose considers himself the strongest in the Nura clan due to his many human kills and confronts Nurarion, claiming he should be the third commander. The following day, Rikuo misses the last bus from school and is brought home by Karasu Tengu. At home, he hears that his classmate's bus has been in an accident. Transforming into his yokai form for the first time, Rikuo leads his own night parade of 100 demons to rescue them. The accident is revealed to have been caused by the Gagose clan, which feeds on children and whose leader is expected to be named the next heir of the Nura clan. Gagose intends to kill Rikuo, believing he is unworthy of being the third commander. However, Rikuo kills Gagose and the other yokai, declaring himself the third heir of the Nura clan and vowing to protect humans. Back in the present, Aotabo and Kurotabo, on patrol, are surprised by the appearance of two imposter yokai pretending to be them to gain benefits. They quickly chase the imposters away. The imposters then encounter two mysterious young men, Ryuji and Mamoru, who turn out to be Onmyoji. Aotabo confronts them and engages in a fierce battle but is eventually defeated. Meanwhile, Rikuo and his classmates search for Yura, who has been absent from school. They find her training alone in an abandoned building, still in shock from her failure to protect her friends from a previous yokai attack and being saved by a mysterious yokai. During their conversation, Ryuji suddenly appears, recognizing Rikuo as a yokai even in his day form. Ryuji tells Yura to stay away from Rikuo and attacks him. Yura, believing Rikuo to be human, tries to protect him. Annoyed by Yura's actions, Ryuji attacks her, leaving her helpless. Seeing Yura's desperate attempt to protect him, Rikuo transforms into his yokai form as night falls and saves her from Ryuji's fatal attack. The battle between Rikuo and Ryuji begins. Ryuji challenges Rikuo with his ultimate weapon, declaring that if Rikuo survives for 3 minutes, he wins. Rikuo manages to survive but is severely injured. As Ryuji prepares a fatal attack, Rikuo anticipates and dodges it, counterattacking with his sword, Nenekiramaru, which only cuts yokai. Mamoru intervenes to protect Ryuji, but Rikuo's yokai comrades come to his aid. Yura mistakenly believes Rikuo has killed her brother, but Ryuji, unharmed, reveals the truth about Rikuo's sword. Realizing they cannot defeat Rikuo's comrades, Ryuji and Mamoru decide to leave. Before departing, Ryuji informs Rikuo and Yura about their brothers' deaths and the resurrection of Hagoromo Kitsune. Ryuji informs Yura that Hagoromo Kitsune and her men have destroyed the barrier created by the ancestors of the Kaken family. He orders Yura to return to Kyoto on the instructions of their grandfather, the current head of the Kaken family. After the battle, Yura asks Rikuo whether he is human or yokai. He replies that he is human by day and yokai by night, but remains the same Nura Rikuo. 400 years ago, the Nura clan began to rise as the most feared clan in the land. Unlike other yokai clans, they refrained from killing humans. During this era, a beautiful woman named Yohime was renowned for her ability to cure any illness or injury, a gift from God. However, her father exploited her power, demanding large sums of money from those seeking cures and keeping her isolated. As news of her beauty and healing abilities spread, she became a target for the Kyoto yokai, who wanted to offer her heart to their leader, Hagoromo Kitsune. Nura Rihion also heard about Yohime and became interested in her. To protect Yohime, her father hired Onmyoji from the Keikain family, led by Koremitsu Keikain, who gave her a sword named Nenekiramaru that could cut any yokai who tried to attack her. One evening, Nura Rihion appeared in Yohime's room, declaring his interest in her. The next day, he reappeared and took her to the Nura clan hideout to introduce her to his comrades. He then asked her to be his wife, but she didn't respond and told him not to visit her again. That night, Yohime's mansion was attacked by yokai, and all the onmyoji protecting her were killed. When Nura Arihion arrived, an injured onmyoji revealed that Yohime had been captured by Hagoromo Kitsune's clan. Nura Arihion rushed to Osaka Castle to rescue her. There, he and his yokai comrades challenged Hagoromo Kitsune and her clan. A fierce battle ensued, and with Nenakiramaru's sword and the assistance of Hidemoto Kikain, the 13th head of the Kikain family, who used his Hagane technique to seal the fox yokai, Nura Arihion managed to defeat Hagoromo Kitsune. Following the battle, Nura Arihion became the Lord of Pandemonium, and his clan was acknowledged as the most powerful yokai clan. Yohime realized she was in love with him and decided to stay by his side as his wife. Back in the present, Rikuo, recalling painful memories of his father's death and knowing the threat of Hagoromo Kitsune, decides to go to Kyoto to save Yura. His grandfather, Nurarion, strictly forbids this, believing Rikuo isn't yet strong enough to face Hagoromo Kitsune and her henchmen. Despite Rikuo's insistence, Nurarion sends him to Tono village to train and improve his skills. Initially, Rikuo tries to escape Tono village, frustrated by being assigned household chores like washing clothes and chopping firewood. However, he finds himself unable to leave the village. In Tono village, he remains in his yokai form even during the day. Rikuo meets Idaku, a male yokai, who explains that Tono village is a hidden place, also called the sacred grounds of Ayakashi or yokai. It is filled with smoke, and only areas full of spirit energy receive sunlight. The village itself can be considered a yokai, and those unable to sever the fear surrounding it cannot leave. Rikuo wonders about the nature of fear and meets Idaku, who is assigned to train him. After practicing for a while, Rikuo seems to master Nurarion's trademark fear technique, which hides his existence, similar to the one he used to defeat Tamazuki. However, Idaku easily breaks this technique, using his fear as a weapon to destroy his opponent's fear. Rikuo also meets several other yokai in Tono village, including Amezo, a kappa, Rera, a Yuki Onna, Yukari, a Zashiki Warashi, and Dohiko, a Nurarion who is male during the day and female at night. Awashima, a yokai who hates being underestimated due to his female form at night, is also present. Rikuo's training continues for several days. During this time, a delegation of Kyoto yokai, led by Kido Maru, arrives at Tono village to seek Akagapa's help for Hagoromo Kitsune. Akagapa refuses, and as the Kyoto yokai prepare to leave, they spot Rikuo and attempt to kill him. In the ensuing fight, Rikuo comprehends the true power of Nurarion's fear and manages to cut through his enemy's fear. Kido Maru and his henchmen retreat, vowing to return with their clan and all the onmyoji from the Keikain family. Meanwhile, Hagoromo Kitsune, in the form of a young black-haired girl with very pale skin, prepares to destroy the 5th protective seal at Seiji Temple along with her men. One of Hagoromo Kitsune's yokai comrades, Ibaraki Doji, suggested that they destroy the protective seals all at once, believing it would be a waste of time to destroy them one by one. The other yokai agreed, eager to see the destruction of Kyoto and humanity after 400 years of waiting. However, Minagoroshi Jizo, Hagoromo Kitsune's advisor, cautioned against this, explaining that the seals were created by Hidemoto Keikain, the 13th head of the Keikain family, who sealed her 400 years ago. Hidemoto was the most talented onmyoji in the family's history, and his abilities were formidable. Despite this, the fox yokai were confident in their ability to destroy all the seals and planned to establish a base at Nijo Palace afterward. Meanwhile, Ryuji, aware of the terror Hagoromo Kitsune and her henchmen were spreading in Kyoto, urged Yura to finish her training before the fox yokai destroyed all the seals and took control of the city. Elsewhere, the head of the Keikain family met with higher-ups to discuss Hagoromo Kitsune's movements. They noted that 6 seals had been destroyed in 13 days. Pado and Masatsugu Keikain, talented onmyoji assigned to protect the seals, suggested confronting Hagoromo Kitsune directly. However, the higher-ups rejected this, fearing the loss of more potential leaders. Akifusa, one of the most talented onmyoji in the Keikain house, proposed a plan to defeat Hagoromo Kitsune and rushed to Rokukinji with Pado and Masatsugu. Akifusa successfully confined Hagoromo Kitsune inside a barrier he created, separating her from her comrades. Pado attacked her with his strongest Shikigami, but she easily blocked it. Soon after, Gasha Dokuro, a giant skeleton yokai and a subordinate of Hagoromo Kitsune, destroyed the barrier, allowing the yokai to break in and attack the Onmyoji. Meanwhile, Rikuo, still training with Idaku in Tono village, heard about the skilled Onmyoji being hunted down by Hagoromo Kitsune and her comrades. He decided to return home to gather his night parade of demons before heading to Kyoto. His friends among the Tono yokai decided to accompany him. Upon returning home, Rikuo asked his night parade of demons to prepare for their journey to Kyoto. Nurarion, recognizing that his grandson was determined to go, summoned a Karabun, a giant yokai in the form of a flying ship, to transport Rikuo and his comrades to Kyoto. Meanwhile, in Kyoto, Kana and her classmates from the Kijuji Paranormal Club go on a yokai search expedition at a temple at night. Due to Hagoromo Kitsune's influence, the yokai around them did not hesitate to appear and attack Kana and her classmates. Luckily, Yura arrived just in time and immediately helped Kana. At the same time, Surara, a Yukiona, and Aotabo also arrived to protect them on Rikuo's orders. Realizing the situation in Kyoto is becoming more dangerous with yokai openly attacking humans, Yura brings her classmates to the main house of the Keikain family and informs them of the dire situation. She asks them to stay at home for their safety, while Surara and Aotabo are assigned to protect them. Shortly afterward, Yura rushes to Sokuji Temple, the location of the second seal, as Hagoromo Kitsune and her comrades are expected to attack it that night. Upon arrival, she finds that the Onmyoji have activated a barrier to protect the seal. Initially, the Kyoto yokai struggle to break the barrier. However, someone appears who can destroy the Onmyoji's barrier with a single slash of his spirit sword, Akifusa, who has been influenced by the yokai. Akifusa, jealous of Yura's status as the heir of the Keikain family, has been possessed by Minagoroshi Jizo and is now attacking his comrades. Seeing the Onmyoji in distress from Akifusa's attacks and the yokai, Yura intervenes and summons her fourth strongest Shikigami to fight the Kyoto yokai. This leaves her vulnerable, and she fails to anticipate Akifusa's attack. At that moment, Ryuji arrives and stops the attack, ordering Yura to find Mamoru and uncover the mastermind behind the chaos while he battles Akifusa. Ryuji eventually defeats Akifusa, but then Hagoromo Kitsune and her night parade of demons appear, overpowering Ryuji. Not long after, Yura arrives with Mamoru and uses the Hagen Shikigami technique, a high-level technique originally used by Hidemoto Keikain, the 13th head of the Keikain family, to seal Hagoromo Kitsune 400 years ago. Only a highly talented Onmyoji can use this technique, and those who do are entitled to become the head of the Keikain family. Hagun is a technique that summons the Keikain house's previous ancestors as a massive Shikigami. Although the technique cannot attack independently, under the direction of Hidemoto Keikain, Yura finally manages to purge the possessed Akifusa. Hidemoto Keikain, the 13th head of the Keikin family, appears before Yura and Hagoromo Kitsune. Recognizing him as her old enemy, Hagoromo Kitsune is taken aback. Typically, in the Hagen technique, the ancestors appear as skeletons in priest robes, but Hidemoto appears fully, thanks to his immense spiritual power. Realizing that the Onmyoji would not be able to defeat Hagoromo Kitsune and her comrades in their current state, Hidemoto instructs Yura and the Onmyoji to retreat and devise a new strategy. Meanwhile, a conflict arises between Kubinashi and Idaku, leading to a fierce battle that Zen eventually breaks up. At the same time, the Nura clan's flying ship enters the Kyoto area, only to be intercepted by a group of Kyoto Skyguards yokai led by Hakuzozu. Hakuzozu challenges Rikuo to a one-on-one duel, which Rikuo accepts and wins using his new technique. Defeated, Hakuzozu asks for death, but Rikuo spares him and invites him to join their side. Although Hakuzozu refuses to join them, he advises Rikuo to go to the Fushimi Inari Shrine, the location of the 8th seal. The yokai army begins attacking the Nura clan's flying ship as it approaches the dark outskirts of Kyoto. Despite the assault, Rikuo and his clan manage to survive and land their damaged ship on a river in downtown Kyoto. Meanwhile, Yura and the Onmyoji gather at the Keikain family's main house to discuss their next steps. Hidemoto, now a Shikigami, reveals his plan to defeat Hagoromo Kitsune and her yokai comrades. He suggests allowing the fox yokai to occupy Nijo Palace because she will give birth to her child there. Although Hitamoto is unsure what kind of creature Hagoromo Kitsune will birth, he knows it will bring disaster to humanity. He explains they have a chance to defeat her after she enters Nijo Palace and begins giving birth. Hitamoto outlines two essential elements needed to defeat Hagoromo Kitsune: the Hagen Shikigami technique and the Nenakiramaru spirit sword, which can kill yokai. He orders the Onmyoji to protect Yura because she is currently the only one who can use the Hagen Shikigami technique. Ryuji informs them that Nenakiramaru is in the possession of Nurarion's grandson, Rikuo. Just then, Sarara bursts into the meeting to announce that the Nura clan's aid is on its way. Before Sarara can reveal her identity as a yokai from the Nura clan, Yura quickly invites her to leave the meeting along with Hitamoto. Sarara explains that Rikuo is training to increase his strength before facing Hagoromo Kitsune. Hitamoto, hearing Sarara's news, felt a bit relieved and revealed to Yura and Sarara that it was Nurarion who defeated Hagoromo Kitsune 400 years ago using the Nenakiramaru sword, which Rikuo now wields. Sarara reassured Hitamoto that Rikuo is a yokai who will not allow any harm to come to humans because he is also part human. Despite his human blood being often underestimated and considered a weakness, Rikuo fights to protect humans from yokai threats. Unbeknownst to Yura and the others, Ryuji was eavesdropping on their conversation from behind the door. Meanwhile, Rikuo and his comrades arrived at the Fushimi Inari Shrine, a place with many torii gates. Despite arriving during the day, Rikuo remained in his yokai form due to the dark aura enveloping Kyoto since Hagoromo Kitsune's invasion and her night parade of demons. Kyoto was now filled with black spirit pillars that spread hatred, strengthening the Kyoto yokai. Awashima also did not revert to his male form, remaining a female yokai. While discussing their strategy, Awashima approached an altar called Omoekaru Ishi and lifted a boulder, unnoticed by anyone except Kurotabo. After placing the stone back and rejoining the group, Kurotabo seemed to recognize the significance of Omoekaru Ishi. On their journey, Amezo informed Awashima about the curse of Omoekaru Ishi. If the stone felt heavier than expected, calamity would befall the person who lifted it. Soon after, Awashima saw a boy crying alone on a branch, visible only to him. Determined to help, he became separated from Rikuo and the others and encountered Mukade, the formidable yokai inhabiting the area. Mukade proved to be a formidable opponent, and Awashima became desperate. Kurotabo emerged from one of the torii gates and helped Awashima escape Mukade's restraints. He explained that Mukade would grow stronger if he sensed fear and despair. Awashima had to overcome his fear to escape the illusory world Mukade created to trap his victims. After a fierce battle, Awashima managed to defeat Mukade and rejoined Rikuo and the others. Shortly afterward, Hitamoto arrived at Fushimi Inari with Ryuji and Mamoru. They encountered Mukade, who was still alive and about to attack. Ryuji then sealed Mukade, using him to replace the protective seal destroyed by Hagoromo Kitsune and her henchmen. Hitamoto shared his relief at seeing Rikuo's progress and discussed the next steps. The combined efforts of the Kikain Onmyoji and the Nura clan were crucial in their fight against Hagoromo Kitsune. As they prepared for the final confrontation, they knew that only by working together and harnessing their combined strengths could they hope to defeat Hagoromo Kitsune and prevent the impending disaster. As the seal was placed, one of Kyoto's spirit pillars finally disappeared, brightening the sky. Hitamoto introduced himself, reminding Rikuo of his grandfather's message to make Hitamoto an ally in defeating Hagoromo Kitsune. Hitamoto, a legendary Onmyoji, created the Spiral Seal, the strongest seal, by connecting certain paths to protect Kyoto from yokai. To destroy it, the yokai must break the seals one by one. Hitamoto explained that he had sealed the strongest yokai within each seal, using them as the seal's core, just as Ryuji had done. He planned to rebuild the destroyed seals and asked Rikuo and his comrades to help the Onmyoji repair them, thereby stopping the flow of spirit energy that Hagoromo Kitsune needed to give birth to her child. He also shared the method to defeat her, as he did with Nurarion 400 years ago. Suddenly, one of the strongest giant yokai, Tsuchigumo, appeared and immediately destroyed the place. Rikuo and the others survived the sudden attack and prepared to fight the giant yokai. Hitamoto warned Yura and the Onmyoji to avoid Tsuchigumo, as they wouldn't be able to defeat him. Tsuchigumo is not an ally of Hagoromo Kitsune. He only seeks strong opponents and a good fight, regardless of their race, size, or gender. Finding a worthy adversary drives him into a frenzy, and those who can significantly wound him earn his respect. Rikuo tried to fight Tsuchigumo using a new technique he had mastered, but it was ineffective against the giant yokai, who easily knocked him down with his immense physical strength. Yura asked Hitamoto how to defeat Tsuchigumo, but Hitamoto revealed that he had never defeated the giant yokai. 400 years ago, after Hagoromo Kitsune's defeat, all the yokai left Kyoto except Tsuchigumo, who had been raging in the city for more than a month. When Tsuchigumo was exhausted, Hitamoto tricked him into a long sleep and sealed him. Seeing their commander taken down, Rikuo's comrades immediately attacked, but their efforts were futile. Tsuchigumo remained unscathed and beat them to a pulp. Rikuo and his night parade could not defeat him, no matter how many times they tried. In the midst of the battle, Hitamoto and Ryuji worked on a strategy. They knew brute force wouldn't work against Tsuchigumo. Hitamoto suggested using a combination of their techniques to exploit Tsuchigumo's exhaustion and trick him as he did before. They needed to buy time and coordinate their attacks to create an opening. Hitamoto instructed Yura to summon her strongest Shikigami to distract Tsuchigumo, while Ryuji used binding spells to limit his movements. Hitamoto cast an illusion to confuse the giant yokai, and Ryuji used his binding spells to trap Tsuchigumo temporarily. With Tsuchigumo momentarily restrained, Rikuo used the combined fear of his night parade to amplify his power. He unleashed a powerful attack aimed at Tsuchigumo's weak point, exploiting the brief opening created by his comrades' efforts. The coordinated effort succeeded in significantly wounding Tsuchigumo, causing him to stagger. Respecting their combined strength and strategy, Tsuchigumo acknowledged Rikuo and his comrades as worthy opponents. Although still formidable, he agreed to retreat, recognizing the futility of continuing the battle against such a well-coordinated team. With Tsuchigumo's withdrawal, Rikuo and his comrades could focus on rebuilding the seals and preparing for the final confrontation with Hagoromo Kitsune. Rikuo continues to fight even after morning comes and he returns to his human form. Impressed by his determination, Tsuchigumo retreats to Sokokuji Temple, taking Sarara hostage to ensure that Rikuo and his night parade will come after him. Meanwhile, Hagoromo Kitsune and her comrades destroy the first seal and occupy Nijo Palace as planned. She heads to the pond beneath the palace to give birth and orders Ibaraki Doji and Shokera to collect human hearts, which she will use to strengthen herself and her soon-to-be-born child, Nui. The scene shifts to Rikuo's memories of his father's death, where his father tried to protect him from a mysterious girl. Rikuo realizes he cannot defeat Tsuchigumo in battle, and then wakes up to find himself with Gyuki, who attacks him with fear while explaining the importance of becoming stronger than both Nurarion and himself to defeat their enemies and lead the night parade. In Kyoto, Hitamoto tries to convince Rikuo's yokai comrades to rebuild the seal, as Hagoromo Kitsune has destroyed the first seal and occupied Nijo Palace. However, most of the yokai are still recovering from Tsuchigumo's attack, so Keijiro tries to rally them to help the Onmyoji and asks Kubinashi to lead them. Suddenly, Keijiro realizes that Kubinashi has disappeared. Kubinashi, disappointed by their defeat against Tsuchigumo, wanders the streets of Kyoto. Encountering yokai about to attack humans, he, in his turmoil, reverts to his old murderous ways and slaughters them. Keijiro, who catches up to him, is shocked to see Kubinashi's drastic change back to a cold-blooded killer. He asks Kubinashi to return, but Kubinashi is determined to single-handedly defeat the Kyoto yokai and Hagoromo Kitsune. Meanwhile, Rikuo is training with Juki on Mount Kurama to enhance his fear power so he can lead his night parade. Juki explains that being the commander of the night parade is not just about leadership in battle, but that the strength of the night parade directly correlates to the strength of their commander. The stronger the commander, the stronger the night parade. Furthermore, if the commander can forge a strong bond by gaining the trust of his comrades, his strength will become even greater. Since Hagoromo Kitsune grows stronger with each reincarnation, Rikuo must surpass both his grandfather and father to defeat her. Juki advises Rikuo to stop viewing his human side as a weakness, reminding him that the Nura clan reached its peak under his father, who was half yokai and half human. Nura Rihan's ability to embrace both sides made him incredibly strong and respected by his opponents. Kubinashi, driven by a desire to kill, goes to the locations of the destroyed seals, slaughtering the Kyoto yokai guarding them. He finally reaches Ryunji Temple, where he massacres the yokai who had kidnapped school students. Keijiro, witnessing this, recalls Kubinashi's past ruthlessness. Ibaraki Doji arrives and is furious to find his men slaughtered by Kubinashi. Elsewhere, Shokai Rai and his yokai comrades breach the barrier around the Keikain family's main house and prepare to attack. The head of the Keikain family orders the Omiyoji to rebuild the barrier, but they are no match for Shokai Rai, who easily tears down their defenses and fatally injures the head of the family. Seeing their leader defeated, Akifusa, recently recovered from his injuries, resolves to use a forbidden technique against Shokai Rai, despite the slim chances of victory. As Akifusa engages in a fierce battle with Shokai Rai, and the yokai try to breach the main house, Aotabo, who is protecting Kana and the others, puts them to sleep and joins the fight against the Kyoto yokai alongside the Omiyoji. Meanwhile, Kubinashi and Keijiro engage in a fierce battle with Ibaraki Doji and his yokai comrades. Their teamwork reminds Kubinashi of his first meeting with Nura Rihan and his decision to join the Nura clan in its night parade. During the battle, they are surprised by the arrival of Kidomaru, who comes to check on the situation because Ibaraki Doji has not yet delivered the human hearts requested by Hagoromo Kitsune. Kubinashi and Keijiro were under immense pressure from Kidomaru, especially after he managed to incapacitate Keijiro by stabbing the female yokai. As Ibaraki Doji was about to kill Kubinashi, a seal fell from the sky, landing in the middle of the shrine grounds. Ura and Hidemoto appeared, informing the Kyoto yokai that the seal could only be broken by Hagoromo Kitsune. The Onmyuji, with help from Rikuo's yokai allies, reassembled the 3 destroyed seals to reduce the flow of spirit energy to her. Kidomaru, furious upon hearing this, prepared to attack Ura. Despite her efforts to defend herself using her flagship technique, she was overpowered. Just then, Ryuji and Mamoru arrived, saving her instantly. Simultaneously, Kappa opened a portal to a safer place and took the seriously injured Kubinashi and Keijiro away from the battle. Ryuji quickly threw Ura through the portal to protect her from Kidomaru, who was after her heart for Hagoromo Kitsune. Meanwhile, Kurotabo, Ryuji, and Mamoru decided to flee from Kidomaru and Ibaraki Doji to focus on reassembling the broken seal. At Mount Kurama, Rikuo, undergoing combat training with Gyuki and the Great Tengu, suffered a crushing defeat and was badly injured. Zen, who was with Rikuo, treated him and was impressed by his resilience, as he continued to fight despite being beaten badly by Tsuchigumo. During their conversation, Zen revealed his beautiful but poisonous wings, expressing that they were his fear, but also his strength for Rikuo in every battle. Inspired by Zen's words, Rikuo regained his determination to become stronger to protect his comrades. At sunrise, he rushed to meet Gyuki and resumed training, knowing he had little time before Hagoromo Kitsune gave birth to Nui. That evening, while having dinner with Zen, Gozomaru, and Mezumaru, they were attacked by Kurama Tengu, subordinates of the Great Tengu of Mount Kurama. Zen initially thought it was part of Gyuki's training, but the Kurama Tengu were serious about killing them. When Gozomaru, Gyuki's subordinate, was hurt, Rikuo urged everyone to flee while he held off the attackers. However, Zen refused to leave, insisting on staying by Rikuo's side to help in the battle. Unexpectedly, Rikuo activated a new technique by combining his and Zen's fears, managing to fend off the Kurama Tengu's attacks and even knocking them all out. Arrived at the main house of the Keikain family, shocked to find it attacked by yokai and her grandfather gravely injured. With his last words, he urged Yura to become stronger and take on the role of head of the Keikain family to protect Kyoto. Devastated by his death, Yura fell asleep. Arimoto instructed Akifusa to handle everything and treat all the injured, including the yokai from the Nurak clan, who had assisted in the battle against Hagoromo Kitsune's yokai. Fully performed the Midoi technique with him, using his fear to sharpen his attack. Together, they managed to split Tsuchigumo's body, making the giant yokai kneel before Rikuo. Defeated, Tsuchigumo decided to gather his strength again to fight against the Nui, who was about to be born. Despite this, Rikuo remained determined to defeat Hagoromo Kitsune. As the battle between Rikuo and Hagoromo Kitsune intensified, fragments of memories of Nurarion surfaced in her mind, causing her to lose focus. Yura seized this opportunity to attack Hagoromo Kitsune, assisted by Ryuji and Mamoru. Meanwhile, the Nui began to rise, its shell cracking. As the fragments fell, Hagoromo Kitsune felt elated, anticipating her reunion with her beloved son after 1,000 years. Hagoromo Kitsune explained that the fragments were memories of her, who had reincarnated many times over the past 1,000 years to bring Nui into the world. However, everyone was shocked when they saw a fragment showing the past involving Rikuo and the death of Nurarion several years ago. Upon seeing this memory, Hagoromo Kitsune felt an intense pain in her head, as if the memory had left a deep and painful impression on her. Taking advantage of her moment of vulnerability, Yura used Hagen's Shikigami technique to launch a full attack on her. Simultaneously, Rikuo seized Nina Kiromaru's sword and stabbed her to avenge his father's death. At that moment, Hagoromo Kitsune recalled everything about Nurarion and called him Daddy. This caused the human body she possessed to lose consciousness, and she was expelled from it. Despite her anger at being defeated, she realized that Seimei was the mastermind behind everything, with Jizo as his accomplice. In a crucial moment, Nui was reborn in a new form as Abe no Seimei. He revealed that he had sent the girl from hell to be the vessel for his mother, who would birth him again. Hagoromo Kitsune, seeing her son reborn in perfect form, embraced him longingly. However, after many reincarnations and efforts to bring him back, her son threw her into hell. Tsuchigumo then challenged Nui to a fight, but was easily defeated and thrown into hell. Jizo, thrilled by his master's rebirth, presented the Demon King's hammer sword to Nui, fulfilling his promise. With this spiritual sword, Nui planned to destroy and rebuild parts of Kyoto. Jizo revealed himself to be part of Sanmoto Gorozaemon, leader of the Yakumonogatari clan, decimated by Rikuo's father and the Nura clan during the Edo era. Knowing the threat Nui posed to humanity, Rikuo attacked him with Nenekiramaru's sword, but Nui effortlessly broke it with one finger. As Nui was about to kill Rikuo, the human girl sacrificed herself to protect him. After that, Norarihon arrived and rushed to save them. He asked Juki and the other higher-ups of the Nura clan to buy time by fighting Nei while he confirmed the identity of the human girl. Rikuo assumed she was his older sister because she called his father Daddy. However, it turned out that the girl was Yamabuki Odome, a female yokai who had been Rihon's first wife during the Edo period. Due to Hagoromo Kitsune's curse on Norarihon, Yamabuki and Rihon were unable to have children throughout their 50-year marriage. With the Nura clan's board members gossiping about her inability to conceive, Yamabuki disappeared, leaving behind a note for Rihon containing a famous Japanese poem lamenting her infertility. She was presumed dead afterward. 8 years ago, Abe no Seimei and Sanmoto Gorozaemon used her in a plan to take revenge on Rihon. Yamabuki was revived as a child to become Hagoromo Kitsune's host with falsified memories. She was sent to Rihon with a subliminal order to kill him upon hearing the poem she had once left him. When he recited it, she stabbed him through the chest with the Demon King's hammer and regained her memories. Despairing over having killed the man she loved, she withdrew inwardly, allowing Hagoromo Kitsune to take full control of her body. In the present, Yamabuki recounted what happened 8 years earlier and asked to get a better look at Rikuo. She commented that if she had been able to give Rihon a child, she imagined it would be just like Rikuo, then fell unconscious. After learning the truth about his father's death, Rikuo became even more determined to defeat Noi, who looked down on him for having human blood. However, Norarihon emphasized that the human blood flowing in his son and grandson was not a weakness, but a privilege he was most proud of. Rikuo, together with the Nura clan and the Tono yokai, attacked Noi but could not harm him with their haphazard attacks. Subsequently, Rikuo gathered the combined fear of his night parade of 100 demons using the Mataoi technique and attacked Noi. To Noi's surprise, his body began to fall apart. Realizing that his body still needed to adjust to the human world, he retreated to Hell, taking his followers with him, but promising to return to finish the fight. Joy filled Rikuo and his allies at their unexpected victory. He then told his grandfather to make him the third commander of the Nura clan and stated his willingness to undergo any training to become stronger. While Hidemoto and Nyorari Hound discussed the situation, they estimated that they had about a year before Ne would return. Rikuo asked Aki Fusa to forge a sword stronger than Nenakiramaru. At home, Rikuo dreamed of his father and grandfather having fun together. When he woke up, his mother noticed his happy expression and said he must have had a good dream. Rikuo then joined the council, where Nyorari Hound informed everyone about the impending all-out war against the Noi clan and its retainers. Rikuo told his subordinates that the night parade of 100 demons he leads would follow a code of honor and not harm humans. The anime concluded with a moral lesson. It's a blessing to have friends we can trust, who know our best and worst sides, and love us despite our faults. To gain someone's trust, you must be trustworthy. Being trustworthy is a hallmark of a good friend and a good person.